What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the little best of clips that we did there over the weekend. Forgot how many games I actually went to last season. Pretty amazing. But there is something that is on my mind, and I think for a lot of things at the minute, this is probably maybe the bottom end of the pile of what people are looking at these days, and that is, should the Football League and the Premier League restart? And the answer is probably not as easy as you might think, actually. I feel like... Oh, yeah. Alright, so when actually breaking down this whole thing, should the Premier League and the Football League restart? In my opinion, for me personally, because I'd love to see football again, the answer would be yes. But I would look at a standpoint and think, is it what's best for business? And it's not actually an easy answer to actually break it down. But how I'm going to break it down is simple. For me, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kick away. Oh, you don't want to. You don't want to be. We're going to kick away the null and void. That is never going to happen for me, because all you've done is basically you're going to turn around to all the 72 clubs, well, all the 92 clubs in the Football League, and you turn around to the National League where they've already done that and go, yeah, this season it's not going to happen. And imagine that all the teams and that have made so much money out of this, especially from the ticket revenues and all that, to turn around and go, yeah, it's not going to be in the history books. You're going to be pissed off. So that's out of the question for me personally if I was in charge of the FA, because they're all corrupt bastards anyway there. But anyway, do we restart the season? Do we conclude it? So if they were going to do it, if they were going to restart the season, I would personally then would look to restart it probably in the end of May, beginning of June, and then run. You've got 9 games left in the Premier League and you've got 11 games in the Football League in the regular season. That's excluding the playoffs. Now, you've got enough games. So overall in the Football League, you've got 14, 13. I can't do maths to save my life here. With or without, just seeing on TV, because I'm sick and tired of watching Premier League years on a complete rerun. It's great seeing it, don't get me wrong, Premier League years is actually fantastic, but when you actually watch it for the 50 millionth time, you already know what's going to happen. So restarting the season would probably be a very good option, but it's how you police it. When you go back in, make sure that how regular do you test the players for the coronavirus? Oh, I said the C bomb. Or how when you're actually training, how do you actually regulate that? Do you keep them away and keep them in small groups, or do you just, I don't know, how do you actually police that? There's so many answers that they've got to give us when it's come to this, and we need answers when it's actually how they're actually going to have a strategy on restarting the season. So, in retrospect, some teams are going to benefit more of being on TV, and really Sky are only going to be the people that are going to show the Football League, unless BT decide to ask to share the rights, which that's probably not going to happen. And Sky are going to make money with the Premier. Well, BT are probably only going to benefit from the Premier League. So, in retrospect, for some of the teams, they're going to miss out on a lot of it. And you look at Doncaster Rovers, for instance, they're not going to have the same appeal as someone like a Sunderland or a Portsmouth in that respect, because, let's be honest, Sunderland and Portsmouth are bigger clubs, and they're going to attract the interest of Sky, who are going to show their games. For Rovers who are a smaller club, and I honestly say that with the truth, the fact that it's probably going to be iFollow, and don't get me wrong, I will subscribe to that, no problem, because I want to see my team again, that's for sure. And that's probably the best way that teams are going to make money, because people are going to be subscribing at £5 a month. And you get that. So as long as they keep that till August when the new season starts, then they'll be okay-ish. Okay, I've been waffling for a little bit, so here's a picture of me in a Santa hat at work. I look an absolute idiot. There's a little bit of a break there for you. But getting back to the TV situation, the TV rights, when you actually read an article, and there's one of the sports editors for the Mail, he actually wrote a really good piece on people who need the TV money the most, and the likes of the Bournemouths and that in the league, in the Premier League, need it more than your Liverpools, your Uniteds, and your Chelseas, because Liverpool United will still earn money off merchandising and the global sort of appeal of the two clubs. I'm not joking. If you go to Singapore and Malaysia, it's just plastered everywhere. But anyway, personally, if they were to restart the season, it'd be great. Personally, from a fan's perspective, it'd be great because I'd get to see football again. But now we're going to look at the other side. If they were to conclude the season, okay, so you conclude the season. How you gonna do that is beyond me. So personally, I see people on Twitter and they're going, "Oh, we'll push them, be given a title." Well, to be honest, they should be. I mean, the more than 75% way through the season, the 25 points clear. They only need 6 points to win the title. Personally, they should be awarded the Premier League title. But then it's the fact that how do you conclude the season with the relegated teams? Unless mathematically they can still stay up, if they're mathematically possible to go down, they should relegate the teams, because that's no point. Unless you're someone like Aston Villa, who have got a game in hand and got a real great opportunity, then you're going to feel hard done by. You're going to have the same problem anywhere you go, regardless, whether it's in the Premier League, the Championship, League One, League Two, regardless. Whatever decision they make come middle of May or something like that, regardless on how they're going to interact the season, you're not going to please everybody. And if everyone decides to turn around and agree, then we're all sheep, and it just seems like the human race has got no imagination anymore, and we've just reached a point where I should be growing my hair out and having a man bun. But I digress. But then, what do you do with Barrow? Now, Barrow are top of the National League, and there's 91 clubs at the minute since Bury's demise. And if you haven't seen that video, what I did, go check it out. But Barrow should be given the National League title. It should be, and to make up for Bury's demise. But then, because there's two teams that go down from the Football League down to non-league, down to the National League, you think, how do you police that? So unless there's someone that's mathematically possible to go down in League Two, let me hang on. Sorry, it's a right good tune there. But anyway, when you see bottom of League Two, right there. No, I mean that's the door, but it should be there. As you can see, Stevenage 22 points, and surefire way of going to be going down towards the National League. I mean, they've got 10 games, and they're 10 points off Macclesfield, who are just above. But then you look at it and think people may argue that Stevenage have still got a chance to get out. But then your other argument is Macclesfield could pick up points towards the end of the season. They've got 9 games. Effectively, they could, a couple of wins for them, who knows? Well, and that makes Stevenage's task even harder. So, personally, if it was me, I would swap Barrow and Stevenage around. Promote Barrow into the National League, into League Two. But then, how do you police the National League then? It's just there's a lot of questions, and I think the EFL, the Football League and the Premier League are going to make the right decision here. So, as the viewer, you sitting right there, well, you're not sitting in my camera, that's a little bit creepy. But you, as the viewer, right now, and you're asking me, Joe, what do you actually think about this? You've given both sides of the argument. A bit. What do you think? Well, to conclude this, as a fan, and every single fan in who supports in the Premier League, in the Football League, in the National League, for instance, the season must finish regardless. If you restart it, in late May, early June, and finish it in mid-July or end of July or beginning of August. Whether you conclude the season right there and then. However, if you conclude the season, I think personally it's a messy situation if you conclude the season there and then, because you're going to have people, you're going to be handing out league titles, that's fine, but also the fact that you're going to be, that's twice now, I'm keeping a tally, like, oh, I'm Guardiola. Anyway, yeah, concluding the season is going to be messy because you've got you can be handing out league titles, but also you're going to have the horrible pain situation of trying to work out who's going to be relegated, and unfortunately, it's just going to cause an absolute mess. People are not going to be happy unless you're mathematically unable to keep yourself in the league. You should get relegated because it depends on how many games it is and depends on how much the points difference is. Because if you look at, like say, look at Stevenage, they're 10 points off safety, but then you could turn around and go Macclesfield could pick up points. It's very hard to digest that. So for me, you can work as long as, for me, hang on, I think my heart's ruling my head and wanting the football to come back, but actually thinking about it, restarting the season isn't probably a bad situation, because in that respect people get to see football again, but financially as well, and also you'll be able to have a definitive conclusion to the season then, because if you start it at late May, early June, you'll have it done by end of July, but then you scrap pre-season because players will be wanting more. Players will want more game time, and then just start next season probably mid-August, maybe even late August, like they do in some of the in Serie A, in Bundesliga, and Spanish league. Finish the season end of July, maybe beginning of August, and then start the season again at the end of August. And if you mean scrapping the League Cup next season, then do it, because teams don't really take notice of the League Cup anyway, unless you're a smaller club. People don't really. I mean, the FA Cup seems to be more of a priority for the other teams now rather than the League Cup. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think financially would be better concluding the season, or do you think do you let your heart rule your head and want this football season to come back and restart it and have a definitive conclusion to the season? I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We are 5 away from 500, so make sure you subscribe into the channel. Make sure you give that thumbs up. Make sure you turn on the notifications to know when a new video is coming out. But also, I want to hear your guys' opinion about this. And also, just a quick one: whether they should, because they are ruling to conclude the National League in that person if you're non-league, should they conclude the season there, or should the National League clubs follow the same suit and wait for the Premier League and the Football League to make their decision before the National League can make their decision? Don't know. What do you guys think? Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side, guys and girls. Take care.